How's everybody doing? Let's jump into this. Let's get started. Bear with me. I know it's been a while. Let me get everything set up. I just walked in the door maybe about like 10 minutes
How's
ago.
everybody doing?
Let's jump into this. Boom. All right. So we're golden there. Let me share this over here. Cool. All righty. And I think I'm going to get this set up here. How's it going? How's it going? Yes. So in case you guys are wondering why the last couple of weeks I haven't been able to go live. So Tuesdays, unfortunately, Tuesdays is prime volleyball day for me. Both my daughters are now playing high school volleyball. So, it is, especially when we have late games that start at like 6 p.m. And they definitely drag on. I'm not able to do those Zooms on Tuesdays. So, I'll kind of just augment it. We'll see how it plays out. If everything works out great, we'll keep doing them on Tuesdays. If not, I may look to swap it. So real quick, let us get over here. Bam. All right. So going into it, we're going to take a look at some stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, we just finished up club season, so we are in the prime of high school season now, man. So, it is what it is. We'll I'll make do with it. I actually, I enjoy it. Actually seeing both my daughters now play, on the same team, it's honestly pretty cool. So I enjoy it. Bear with me. Let me just make sure that I am streaming, because otherwise I'll forget to stream it on YouTube. There we go. Yeah. All right, cool. There we go. And good. All right. So I'm streaming. Awesome. We're good to go. Let's the moms crazier. The moms are crazier, or are you talking about like my wife is crazy? All right, no worries. Let's get into it. So real quick, while we're diving into it, Forex Factory, hopefully you guys are into this. Last week I didn't do much trading. If you guys saw my Instagram, I was actually in the hospital towards the end of the week with a really bad allergy, so my face was all blown up. So unfortunately I didn't get to capitalize on some of the plays on NFP, but I am getting set up for, for me, statistically the second week of the month, the week preceding, the week after NFP week is typically my biggest profit week of the month. So I'm ready for it. I'll go over some of the trades that I'm looking at. I'll go over some of the trades that I was looking at that I didn't actually take. One, I just wasn't around my computer and they actually played out pretty well. So go over some of the crypto stuff as well, and then we'll call it a night. I know a lot of you guys, especially that are either on the East Coast or in Europe or on the other side of the world, it's either pretty late or pretty early for you. So we'll get through the stuff and then go on. What's up, man? How you doing, man? So really no news going on today. Tomorrow's going to be a big day for the CAD. We definitely have the Canadian bank rate statement, which, when you look into it, they're not going to change the rate statement, but definitely the tone that they do in the press conference is going to be indicative of what the Canadian dollar is going to be doing. I talked about it this morning on a Zoom call with a bunch of people that inflation is here to stay, right? I don't see any bank, any world bank that's going to be able to stave off inflation, but we can't have everything across the board be bearish. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see which currencies actually are able to withstand the inflationary period. If they can get a hawkish sentiment going, then that's going to be boding well for it. All right, hold on. There we go. Cool. So with that in mind, I'm going to be paying attention to Canadian pairs tomorrow. I'm actually looking at CAD J4 to sell. We're going to see what happens with that. Going into the end of the week, like Thursday, Friday, you could see European policy statement as well. So the euro is going to be moving. And then of course, last week for some reason wasn't Canadian NFP. It was only the US, which is weird, but they're going to be doing it on Friday. So a lot of Canadian news this week. So I am going to be focusing on some Canadian pairs this week. I haven't, CAD is on the list for me. I actually haven't even looked at EuroCAD in a minute. So I'll take a look at EuroCAD as well. GCAD has just been sideways for a very long time. I have no desire to do anything with GCAD. But we'll take a look, we'll take a look at some of the stuff and then go from there. Real quick, I'm sure if you guys are investing in crypto, you saw the drop today. If you guys were here back in May, I went on a Christmas shopping spree in May for crypto. I again went on a Christmas shopping spree today. And, it's only convenient that this happens hours after El Salvador, right? It makes Bitcoin Day. So El Salvador bought 400 BTC all within a couple of hours, right? And if you do the math on this, right? So they bought at 400 BTC, right? At I think it was like the average cost was like $52,000 each, right? So that gave them a total of, I want to say it was, what was it? I think it was like 20,800,000 if I do the math right. If they bought 400 BTC, right, is where they bought it at 52.5. And as soon as they bought it, when BTC went to 46,000, right? When it went to 46,000 at 400 BTC, that was, I want to say it was like 18 million. So in the matter of, and El Salvador is a very small country in Central America. In the matter of hours, they were down $2 million. So it's that for a reason. You know what I mean? I was just speaking to somebody. I think it was, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Lewis. Maybe the night before I was just telling you, right, that we're going to be seeing a big spike down on crypto. And, sure enough, that's what I wanted. They bought 150 more. Yeah, I know they bought. Yeah, they did. Yep. Yeah. So, but it was all purpose. There was a purpose behind it. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Yep. So with that in mind, I'm happy with it. Definitely crypto has been very, very, year to date, just on 2021 crypto investments that I've made, I'm up almost 1,500% total on everything. So what was the proper purpose? Oh, it was all manipulation. Yeah, it was all manipulation. Just think of how do you make money in crypto? You got to buy the dip. How do you force the dip? You take profits at all-time highs, forcing the dip to come back down. So, that's, you gotta go after the people that are not savvy investors. Look at this guy right here is doing a little Wyckoff thing going on. Sounds good. Yeah. So I was pretty happy with it, especially for those of you guys that have watched hold on. If you guys have watched, what was it? Where is mine? Let me see. Where's my Flow USD? Hold on. Let me just look at it real quick. So I dropped a video for everybody. There it goes right here. So Flow USD, I dropped this. When did I drop it? Can't even see. Anyway, I dropped Flow USD maybe about a week, 2 weeks ago. And it was actually pretty, pretty good stuff. I'm trying to see if I had that chart. Here you go. Here's that chart right there. So I know that I don't know why this video looks crappy. Give me a sec. Here we go. Do you hold a bunch of US Tether for times like, so yeah, I always have money in my Coinbase Pro and my Kraken account for days like this. And I'll have order limits set on them. But anyway, in this video, I was talking about pretty much what wherever the heck it is. I know I had my chart in here. Here it is. So I was talking about, here's my buy area right in here. So you guys can see my buy area was, and this was August 27th. My buy area was, the first buy area I was looking to hedge into, cost dollar average was between $7 and $19. And then of course, between 12 and 15 was my next area that I was going to have some limits on. And when we look at flow, I mean, it did exactly that. So it, where is flow? Here's flow. So I was looking, I mean, it's the same chart. I was looking, so it came all the way down to 1377. I mean, it did a perfect entry for me. So I got filled on everything. I did have one little order set at 1325 that didn't get filled, but for the most part, everything I wanted to invest is there. And you could see I'm up from my lower order. I'm up 54% today. So really good play. My thoughts on the crypto melt. I don't think it was a melt, man. I think it was just a nice pullback. Yeah, Cash, I think it was just a really good pullback. It was the same thing. If you guys remember back in May, right? If you look back at every crypto back the last week of May, what do we get in the last week of May? We got the big melt, right? The big melt that gave us all of these really nice entries, you know? So I was perfectly happy with it. I mean, I capitalized, I bought, I mean, I got into a bunch of crypto stuff, huge buys, huge buys and all the melts. And I'll continue to buy them, shoot, ICP, ICP came all the way down where I'm up huge on ICP, and, who can forget Solana, Solana, obviously I'm in Solana from way down in here, but, we were looking at in May, we got in around I think it was like the $22 to $25 range. And here's where I got in. And then my last buy was down in here. You can see I bought some in June, but I bought some around $26. And yeah, I mean, this thing, I mean, shoot, it went 800% on Solana. So, I'm not worried about the crypto melt. To me, it's not a melt, it's a pullback, and I'm perfectly happy with it. Let's see. Yep, that's what you get for living in New York, man. The great state of New York is protecting you, if you believe that. They're protecting you from not being able to purchase things because yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, crypto, I mean, listen, across the board, I got into, I bought some more Cardano. I bought Chainlink was another one that was really nice. I bought some Chainlink. Obviously, I've got some more orders down low. Ravencoin, I got into Ravencoin. Ravencoin was a good buy. So I'm happy with the crypto stuff, but I did want to talk about flow because, I honestly hadn't been able to get into flow yet. If you haven't had the chance, I would definitely recommend you watch that video. I break it down pretty well, like why I'm looking at flow, especially from the NFT side of it. But yeah, so that's it. On the crypto side, listen, I'm still holding. I'm up big for the year. I'm up big for the last 2 years. I have yeah, and now I'm getting into mining. So absolutely, I did a video on how to build out a Ravencoin node. We did that. Now I'm just waiting on all my parts to come in. So far I've got enough parts to build out 2 rigs. I'm going to be mining Ethereum and I'm going to be mining Ravencoin. And, realistically, for those of you guys that aren't doing it, part of the reason why I'm doing it is because I'm doing it as a project with my son, who's, he's 9. And I think it's something cool to do, but it's another way to earn passive income, so, just to give you some numbers, I'm the first rig that I'm doing is I'm building out a 3070 Ti with a couple 1660 supers GPUs. The total cost on this rig right here with everything that I paid is going to be just around 4,200, and it's going to be making me right now at current prices, it's going to be making me $31 a day, right? Is my profit. So Obviously it's going to take me a little bit, but within, I think it was like 127 days, I'll be break even and everything else is going to be gravy on it. And then I'm making 6,800 XTs on the AMD side is what I'm going to be building my second rig. That one was a little cheaper. That was like $3,100 investment for all the parts. And that one's going to be making me about $26 a day. So just another form of passive income, and as Ravencoin, because this is the Ravencoin one, as Ravencoin goes up, right now I think it's trading at 12 cents, when it trades at 24 cents, this will be double. And currently this $26 a day is going to be on ETH, which we know, if you're investing in Ethereum, you know that it's going to be over $4,400 very soon. So H&T, yeah, listen, H&T is doing really good. For those of you guys that have signed up with that FTG-Global, I can tell you if you guys weren't on the conference call last week, just to give you guys some numbers, the very first shipments of them have gone out of those Helium hotspots. There's an order, they had an order of 80,000. It is now 120,000 that they have the purchase order approved and are being filled. So 120,000 hotspots will be getting sent out within the next 4 weeks. And then they have another 500,000 units that have been purchased and are waiting delivery. And those will be delivered in quarter number 1 of 2022. So I would say people that are probably signing up now for it are probably going to be getting it between January and March of 2022. All right. But yeah, they're here. Heck, my, let's see, the hotspot that I've got right now is, no income claims, but we have, let's see if I can find my hotspot. So here we go. We are, where is Old Atlantic? Core Ridge. Nope. There we go. So let's just see what my last 30 days. So you can see the last 30 days, I've made 53 Helium. It's down 50%, which no big deal. You can see I'm definitely reaching some of the, of the hotspots. I did have an issue. Actually, it's being relayed right now. So I've got to tweak around with the setting on it. But that's kind of the issue. It's been going in and out of relay mode. So, but still, it's a decent net profit. I'm happy with it. And, once I can get this issue fixed, that relay issue, which is just changing out my port. I ended up changing a bunch of stuff on my Wi-Fi router. So it's a security setting I'll have to go through. But yeah, I'm happy with it. We'll see, so I'll have the Helium, the H&T that's mining. I'm going to have the GPU rigs, both Ethereum and Ravencoin, which Ravencoin right now is going to be top notch, especially when Ethereum 2.0 comes out and they pretty much nix the GPU mining on Ethereum, which still remains to be seen. And if you guys are paying attention to what's happened to gas fees, right? These $90, I tried buying an NFT what was it, 2 days ago? I tried buying an NFT and I kid you not, the NFT cost $250, right? And I was like, all right, I'll get it. And then when I saw the gas fee was $127 for me to buy a $250 NFT, I was like negative. So I'll tell you right now, if you are buying NFTs, my suggestion, buy it on the Polygon network. You're paying $1 to $2 in fees on the Matic network for it. So yeah, it is what it is. So, but I got the Helium going. I'm going to have the GPU rigs. I did a video not too long ago on CPU mining of Monero, right? So I'll tell you right now, AMD processors are probably the best to go with. You can pick them up to build out a computer rig for a Monero. High-end CPU, a high-end CPU is about $450 on Amazon. So you can get like a budget-friendly one that's kind of going to make you still decent money, but not break the bank for like $200, get yourself a cheap power supply for $50, throw in some cards and you're golden. So, I mean, for under $1,000, you could probably build out a CPU that's going to mine Monero. And, if you guys haven't seen, I mean, Monero right now, Monero was trading at, it's at $266 Monero. So, and you can already see the distribution happening up here. I would pretty much out of this accumulation expect us to make a new all-time high, and all-time high is going to be $500+. So, there's a lot in the crypto space that you can be doing, not only from a mining perspective, but also like staking. I mean, I'm really big into staking. I stake, well, I'll tell you right now, like probably 80% of all my assets are staked. Everything from, Matic, Polkadot, Ethereum. The only thing I don't stake is my Bitcoin, and I've got that on my ledger. So, all right, hold on, let me catch up to these real quick. Do I have a vid on what? Vid on what, man? My bad. I wasn't looking at the chat. Do you have a video breaking down how to mine? So I don't. I'm going to. I haven't actually built the 2 GPU rigs yet. I'm just waiting on all the parts. So I got 2 of the GPUs in. I've got the motherboard in. I've got the power supply. I'm waiting on the rest of my GPUs to come in, and then I'm going to build them out. So, but yeah, I'll definitely do a video. I'll have my son help me. We'll do it all together. We'll build it out, put it on. We'll use like Hive OS to mine it and stuff like that. But it's pretty cool. Do you expect CRO to continue bullish? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, CRO. Yeah, I expect that sucker to keep going north. I mean, especially with, look at this, geez. Yeah. So yeah. We're, what am I up? So right now, so I staked in here. I upped my crypto.com card. So you have to stake the CRO. So I went into the, whatever the jade or whatever the color. Yeah, I guess it's jade because that's the green color of my card. I staked in here. So I'm up 150% from when I staked the CRO that I need to for that. And I'm expecting, listen, everything on crypto is bullish. There's not one crypto that I personally invest in that I can say is bearish. From a higher time frame perspective, we're bullish on it. And it's just going to be, you just got to weather out the manipulation games, and if you can do that, which in my opinion, if you're exchange investing on it, just don't look at your account every day. I can't tell you how many times in a month I look at my account. It's not very much. I use alerts to tell me when to take some partials out. Like when Monero hit 600%. I'm sorry, when Solana hit 600%, guess what? I took 25% of my holdings, cashed out, and put orders down below. So, that's how I kind of play it. What broker do I use to trade crypto? So I'll tell you right now, the only crypto that I margin trade is BTC. And unfortunately, I'm not proud to say it, but I use KOT Forex just because they used to be very, very good with spreads. That is no longer the case. They suck. You're looking at like a 60 to 70 pip spread on BTC, where it used to be like 20 to 30. So, unfortunately, a lot of the crypto, to my knowledge, there is not, for a US resident, there is not a regulated broker that you can trade crypto on. So, for me, I can tell you my opinion, or what I do is I don't store, or I don't put a lot of money in that broker. I have a large account in Awanda, which is my Forex broker, because it's a US regulated account. I do not keep, I have a certain number when my account, if I, eclipse that margin or that number that I have on KOT Forex, I withdraw it, so, if that number is 25,000, if I make 27,000 in that account, I take 2,000 out. I never want more than 25. If it's 100,000, the minute I win a couple trades and I'm up 106,000, I want to make sure that the money that's in that account, God forbid, one day just something happens and it's gone. I can bite the bullet and say, all right, it's gone. It is what it is. But I would, I'd lose my mind if I had a 7-figure account, wake up one day and it's gone. That's, I've talked about it. That's why I use Awanda as my account for Forex, because I know if something ever happens, my first phone call is going to be to the FDIC. It's going to be to the Treasury Department in the US to figure out what they're going to be doing to help me recover my funds from a US regulated broker. So, yeah. Do I have a YouTube tutorial on staking? No, I don't think so. I mean, I'll tell you right now, just, because I didn't want to make this a huge crypto thing, but for crypto, if you go over here to, where is it? Let's see. Where is it? Right here. So if you go to stakingrewards.com, right, it kind of breaks down all of the coins, and it'll tell you what the best staking APYs and stuff like that are. I can tell you my go-to things, I'll tell you right now, if you own Superbid, I stake it on Superbid, the actual website. Back when I first started buying Superbid, they were paying out 80% APY. They cut it. Now it's down to 20%. Okay. But 20% is still better than, some of these other things. I can tell you that I use QuickSwap a lot, right? I on the Matic network, some of these pools are, fantastic. You have, all right, come on. Oh, wait, it's because I don't have, bear with me here. Oh. Some of these pools are paying out really, really nice. Let's see. So you can come here, you could see that you're paying to stake. Look at this, to stake US dollar coin in Ethereum right now, they're paying out 101%. Ethereum and Matic, 46%. Geez, look at this, Ethereum Tether, 102%. And these aren't small pools. We're talking 31 million, we're talking 87 million, we're talking 114 million within these pools. So like QuickSwap is definitely one of the exchanges that I stake on, just because the APY is pretty big on it. And I actually don't mind getting paid out in Quick. If you look at what Quick is doing, Quick is going to, it's a mid cap coin. It's got over well over $1 billion in market cap, and I'm expecting Quick to go, to be a $1,000 plus coin on it. So gas fees aren't smiling. Yes. But if you do it on Quick, it's on the Polygon network. So you're not paying huge gas fees. If you look, the average gas fee on, I'll tell you right now, the gas fee on the Matic network, you go over to, let's see, what's the average gas fee on this sucker? Come on, for the love. Well, the average gas fee, I'll tell you, like I checked it this morning, was like $1 or $2. So QuickSwap does everything through Polygon, so you don't have to worry about paying these ridiculous fees. So that's kind of why I do it. What exactly is staking? Oh, just Google it. Yeah, I could break it down pretty simple for you. It's you own a coin and you're going to stake that liquidity in the coin into the blockchain. So think of you being a bank and you're lending out your liquidity in that particular coin, so that, and then in return, you're getting a percentage of profits from it. So whether you're doing governance where you're getting a percentage of fees, whether you're doing it just simply for liquidity. So in this case here, like if you Ethereum and US dollar, if I put $1,000 of Ethereum and $1,000 of US dollar coin into this pool, what it's doing right now, currently in the last 24 hours, it is paying out 101% APY on it. So in 1 year, if it sustained the 100%, which it won't because they fluctuate, but in 1 year, you will make 100%. So you will make 1,000 Ethereum and 1,000 US dollar coin in that 1 year. All right. So that's what staking is. Okay. So, but QuickSwap, is one of the main ones I use. Obviously, if you're you use Kraken as an exchange, Kraken is paying 12% for Kusama. It is paying 12%. I'm sorry, it is paying 20% for Kava to stake. I believe it's paying right now 9% for Solana. It's paying, I think, 6% for Cardano. So, I stake on Kraken as well. But yeah, I would definitely, if you're not staking, you're not letting your money, make money for you. So, my crypto portfolio is not designed to make me money in 6 weeks. My crypto portfolio is designed so that in 6 years, I have huge profits. So I don't care what happens between now and like the year 2030, or the year 2025, right? What I care about is I have the assets now. I'm going to stake them. I'm just going to continue to stake them and earn the rewards that I'm getting out of it. So, yeah, there you go. Exactly. There you go, man. Thank you. Yep. It's just like a fixed deposit. What about Doge? Now, I'll tell you right now, like Doge is a meme coin. I don't do anything with Doge, man. I never bought into it. I don't plan on buying into Doge. The only meme coin I ever bought was Shiba Inu, which was like the Doge killer. And, you could see it's done absolutely nothing. I bought back here in May at whatever price this is. And, obviously we're in an accumulation. I've got an alert up here because if we do something like this, I may come back and buy out of here just a little more money. But meme coins for me are useless. They're, I don't trade the hype. I trade, or I want to invest in the project. So hold on, let me catch up here. Gas fees been too high. Yep, gas. Yeah, you can't do anything. You can't do anything on the Ethereum network. So, which is why I started to get into Ethereum mining, because these gas fees are going to the miners in their pools. So, and I know with Ethereum 2.0 coming out, they're going to try and get rid of GPU mining. I don't see that happening. At least not happening anytime in the foreseeable future. Anything we can do in gas fees is so high, like trying to charge me. Yeah, no, you just can't do anything with gas fees. You gotta sit there and be patient. Obviously if you're moving 6 figures around on the Ethereum network, the $100 ain't gonna hurt you. But if you're moving $1,000 worth of product on the Ethereum network and you're paying 10% in fees, that's just outrageous. Yeah, so I have FX Choice. If you're a US resident and you don't have an FX Choice account, you can no longer get an FX Choice account. So I use FX Choice for my CFDs, like US 30, the indices. I use it for commodities like oil and then metals. So Hex has 40% APY on average. Yeah, there you go. I've heard that a lot of these websites still like staking rewards, and CoinGecko, et cetera, are brought in sensors. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I like, so just do your work into the pools, right? Like for me, when I look for a pool, yeah, the APY means a lot, but I would rather be in a stable pool that has a lot of liquidity in it, than a pool that's going to pay me out 500%, but only has $40,000 worth of liquidity in it, So Minty Swap. What is Minty Swap? Minty Swap. Minty Swap. Minty Swap. To mint NFTs and swap tokens. Okay. But so is it to, let's see, is it just a swap? Because if it's a swap exchange, then for me, it doesn't mean anything. Whether you swap on Uniswap, whether you swap on MetaMask, you're still going to pay the same exact, Ethereum fees. So yeah, I'll take a look at them. Yeah, I'll take a look at them. So, all right, no worries. which broker did I use to buy flow? So here's, if you ever want to know how to buy a certain thing, I use CoinGecko. You don't need to use CoinGecko, but I like going to CoinGecko for all my stuff. So if you just come here and you type in flow, right, it'll give you all the information, but come to markets, right? Come to markets and it'll tell you every exchange you can buy it on. Now, certain exchanges, I can tell you right now that like Kraken only had a certain amount of liquidity, right? So you can see right now, they only had on Kraken USD. So on Kraken USD, there is only, in the last 24 hours, there's only 3.5 million, right? Now, there's a way around, I'll tell you right now, if you're a US resident, there's a way around purchasing some that US residents are not allowed to buy yet. So like a good example, like if you live in New York and you go on Kraken and flow, it says you can't buy it because the New York state restricts it. Just put your VPN on and put yourself in Chicago or put yourself in Canada. And because they track that, all that API only tracks by your IP address. So me personally, I buy whenever I can't buy something because I'm a US resident, I use Hotbit, which sucks. I hate Hotbit, but it is what it is. I use it. So, but you can use, like I said, Kraken, crypto.com is on there. I know gate.io is on there. So you can just go to markets anytime you want to look for something and it'll tell you exactly, how to do it, where you can purchase it at. All right. I use MetaMask on QuickSwap. Yes, I do. Yep. So, all right. Cool. All right. We're done with the questions. Awesome. I'm all caught up. So anyway, yeah, that's my piece on crypto. I always enjoy the dips because everybody freaks out about it, man. The news today, I was watching Fox Business and the crypto crisis, the crypto sell-off. And I was just laughing because, and I will say this, I did catch a nice little sell on crypto. I personally, listen, if you don't think for 1 minute that we need to come back into the 38 to 4,000 or into the 30 to 32,000 price points, you need to reevaluate how you see the market, right? I was expecting this. You could see I was expecting a sell from here. I actually took a small loss. Yesterday. I had a sell that I was looking at. I was actually trying to sell this distribution right here. I was trying to sell this distro right here. Actually, you know what? Let me see. Yeah, I think I have the chart still. Hold on. Where is it? So yeah, here it is right here. So yeah, I was trying to sell this. Here's just some charts that I got a journal still, but I was trying to sell this yesterday. You could see the clean distro. We broke. I was looking for an entry off the 50 and the 80. Really clean entry. This this is that SPX one. SPX was an awesome play if you guys weren't watching it. Yeah, it was a really good play. I know a couple people that did catch it. So anyway, this was the distro. This ends up coming into my 80%. I reduced my risk once I saw the move and got stopped out. But then sure enough, I was able to catch this one yesterday evening and, took a nice little I think it was like a 1 to 37 on it, which I don't really trade a lot, but I just took it into where I was expecting us to, I was looking for a buy area out of this. So I took it to that. It was a nice little 1 to 37. So really clean entry, really clean distribution on it. If you didn't see it, I would definitely go in there. And I mean, the distro is clean. It's a type 1 all day long, really clean break of structure. I had 2 entries. I had one off the 50 and one off the 80. The 50 got triggered, the 80, not so much. So as soon as we broke, kind of deleted the 80, but yeah. Cool. All right, we're all caught up. Awesome. So, but that was BTC. Obviously, I'm going to be looking for some more crypto buys and stuff like that. How in this do you see the difference between UT and UTAD? How do I see the difference between a UT and UTAD? Well, I mean, for me, this is my UTAD, right? That's my UTAD. So yeah, like you never get it right. So instead of like, do you know what a UTAD does? If you understand what a UTAD does and you understand what the intention of that UTAD is, then it'll make sense to you. There's a difference. Just if you do this, so if you remember this, that a UT is a secondary test, right? Do you understand what I mean by that? Yep. Okay. So you know that if price is doing that, all of these are secondary tests, right? And then we get something like this, then break structure. What do we label this as? This is your UTAD, right? Or you can label it as your shakeout, or you can label it, your FU, whatever you want to call it. That's what this is, right? So, for me, the key was, we got the manipulation, we swept all the highs, we broke structure right here by that little bit. So for me, that's all I needed, to take that entry. Okay. What's the difference between a distro and a reaccumulation? Your reaccumulation is your confirmation that your distro failed. That's the difference. Yeah. So distros are, your reaccumulation's a failed distro. Okay. So, all right, let's dive into this sucker here. Let's go through. Would you consider a wick as a break of structure? Yeah. Why? Let me ask you, why wouldn't you consider a wick a break of structure? Is a wick not a contract that trades above or below a particular point of interest? So, and I guess I'll pose it to you like this. So if I had my stop loss right here, like I do, okay, and price comes up and wicks above this area here and then drops, does my stop loss not get hit? Right? The answer is yes, it does. So a wick is a break of structure. It's, for me, that's how I treat it. This was a break of structure right here, because what do? We invalidated demand. We took out buyers. Okay. What's my take on gold right now? No clue, man. No clue. Gold is a mess. Gold isn't even on my list, my watch list this week. I was looking, if anything, I'd be looking for a buy from lower, but gold's bearish. So I'm just going to be waiting patiently for my big sell. Did the distro have to line up with the point of interest for it to be valid? Does a distro? Yeah, absolutely. If it's a middle of nowhere, what is it distributing out of? So yeah. All right, so let's run into this. So CAD-J, right? CAD-J, I'll tell you right now, I'm still holding partials on CAD-J from, I am still holding, where am I holding from? I'm still holding these partials here. I've taken my I've taken all the partials I'm going to take out of it. I'm still maintaining my positions from up here. You can kind of see what we got. We did get a distro. The only thing about the distro is, when we look at where this distro occurred, right? So if I come up to like the 1 hour and we look and we see where we came into this last push up, right? Into ultimately this redistribution. What do we see? We see that we did come into at least 50% of this entire push. 80% is up here. I would have liked us to come into that 5-minute candle that's sitting up here, but sometimes I don't get what I want. So I have to trade what we get. All right. Yeah. So what I'm going to be looking at, we did get a distribution here. Now these order limits is something I was looking at today. I don't have these order limits set yet. What I'm looking to see is whether or not we can trade and take out these lows right here, right? If we can break these lows, so this is what caused this area right here. What I'd be looking for is something like this, and then I'd be interested in taking something out of here, right? But we do have a distribution. Ideally, I would have liked to have taken the distribution during New York session. So now I'm just going to be patiently waiting on this. But I am looking for the sell. We are still, you can see, right? We're still bullish order flow coming into CAJ. So until we break some sort of order flow, I'm really not going to be 100% convinced that we're not going to go higher. And we can still come all the way up into the extreme, which is this 15-minute candle, right? This 15-minute candle still has my attention. I'm still waiting on it. That to me is the last unmitigated portion of CAJ from the break that was this, which was this break right here. So we had price come in here, we made this, and then we broke. So this is that area that I'm still, definitely I have the limit order set on. I'm waiting. It's the extreme. But out of this distribution here, if we do break order flow, right, if we do get that boof, then I'd be willing to take some action out of here. All right. How does it make you feel being up a 1 to 100 and then price pulling back? What do you mean price pulling back? If I'm up a 1 to, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes me feel really good. I just caught a 1 to 100. Maybe I'm not understanding the question, but yeah. How does it make you feel being up a 1 to 100 and then price pulling back? Freaking fantastic. I mean, you look at CAJ here. I mean, I didn't catch the 1 to 490. I should have caught it, but I was preoccupied on a canoe, so I didn't take the entry off of it, but I caught a 1 to 89 and I took 3 partials out of it. So this made me a lot of money and I was pretty happy with it. The anticipation is that we're going to come back and we need a pullback so I can sell again. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. What did your BTC sell distribute out of? What did it the massive distribution to the left of it? What do you mean? What did it distribute out of? Can you, do you see this massive distribution right here? That's what it distributed out of. Yep. I mean, just look at, so here's where that distribution is. This is that last point of supply, right? So where do we trade into the higher time frame last point of supply? We came in just shy of the 50% of this entire push. I mean, that's all I need. We're in the right area. Does it have to come all the way into the extreme? No, it doesn't. It needs to just come into the point of interest. This entire area right here is my point of interest. If I start to see, that's why I wanted to take the first distro that came in here, because we were in a logical area over here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing you would have partialed is the answer to the being up 1 to 100. Yeah. So, yep. So on CAJ, like I said, I'm just waiting for that sucker. I'm waiting. I want to see us break below this low right here. Hopefully we can get it going out of there. Chef JPY, just a quick little thing on Chef JPY. I'm still holding my buy out of here. Okay. I'm waiting at this point. I'm waiting for us to, you could see, make a new high. And, there's really nothing for me to play until we make a new high out of it. I'm holding this order here, and I am still holding whatever this order is way back here. Yeah, I'm still holding this order back down here. So I've got the 2 orders on Chef JPY. It's just a matter of just being patient. You can see we have a distribution that I'm anticipating to be a reaccumulation. I just need us now to make the reaccumulation. It's that simple. I've taken out of this order here, I've taken my first partials and I've taken my second partials, right? My next partials are going to be up here at like the, probably like the 2100 area. And I'll just be waiting for for that to happen. Bear with me here. Bear with me. All right, cool. With position still open and profit reducing. Wait a minute. With positions still open and profit reducing. Are you talking about like if I'm in a position that's up and then I still have open? Yeah, like CAJ I'm still open on. Yeah, I still have this position open. Absolutely. This position is still open. Yep. And I would say that the profit that I had down here is probably cut in half or probably by 70% now, right? From the positions I have. Yeah, absolutely. That's part of swing trading, right? I mean, you have to understand that the market does this, right? So the position I got in here, when it comes up to this, when it pulls back, I've just cut my, my profits down. But then when it gives its next expansionary move, comes back down, right? Yeah, absolutely. That's part of swinging a position. You look at EA. I am still holding this position from here, and I saw price go 800 pips in profit, only to come back to only 292 pips in profit, only now to be going back into profit a little more. Yeah, it's all part of swing trading. That's why you partial out. I mean, I for one, I'll tell you right now, I'm not afraid to admit it. I for one have not been able to perfect the art of catching this move, knowing that it's going to come exactly to 1.6420, cashing out, closing the entire position, and then knowing that it's going to come to exactly 1.59195 and catching this move and then taking it to wherever exactly it's going to go. I haven't perfected that art of siphoning out every pip, every penny out of the market. So instead, what I do is I do high probabilities, right? I understand that I'm going to partial out. I'm going to leave a runner. And if that runner ends up hitting break even, all right, let's just say that this move right here, right? This move right here was $10,000. We'll just say that, right? No income claims, but let's just say $10,000 was this entire move. But now let's say that at this point here, I took 2,500 out of the market. At this place here, I took another, we'll say 3,000 out of the market. And then when it came up to this high right here, I took another, we'll say, I don't know, another 1,250, right? So all in all, I made some good profits. Now, did I cash out the entire 10,000? No, I didn't. But you know what I did? What I did do is I do know for a fact that I'm, roughly $7,000 more in an equity curve on my broker account because I cashed out these positions than if I didn't do anything. So, and then of course, if I do get into this position here and we make a new high, then the remaining $10,000 volume that I have after taking out these partials from here is still making me money. That's how, I mean, that for me, it's just dollars and cents. It's adding up and, identifying how and where I can make that equity curve just continue to go higher. One thing I know for sure, this position isn't going to cost me anything anymore. So there's no risk involved in it. So if this thing ends up going for 5,000 pips over the next 5 months, I'm still going to be making money from this position here. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, hold on. Where was your POI for CAJ? For what? The sell? For CAJ, like the cell that we're in currently right now, this one here that I'm looking at. Yeah. So the point of interest is coming into 50% of this last point of supply. right? When you measure, if you measure on a higher time frame, let's just go to like a 4-hour, right? So when you measure this entire push, you can see that we are in my sell area, right? 50 to 8. Oh, actually, I have it still up there. 50 to 80 is my sell area, you know? So I want to see a distribution in that sell area, and we're there. So that's my point of interest. All right. Let's see. If CAD comes up before breaking the low, would you take the still? No, I wouldn't. Nope. Yeah. For me, it hasn't done anything yet. You know, all it's done, if you look at it, right, we've distributed, and we distributed into a slingshot that broke the high, which we know is an area of demand. And we have accumulated. So let me ask you, would you be looking for a sell here, or would you be looking for price to confirm this as a reaccumulation and take a buy here to go higher? Because for me, this is telling me that buyers are in control, that demand is stronger than supply right now. And especially the fact that we've come into here, we have that accumulation. Yeah, I would not be looking for a sell out of this unless we invalidate demand. That's pretty much what I'd be waiting on. Okay. So that's CAD. Euro odd. So Euro odd, listen, I've been waiting on Euro odd for a minute. We finally came back into our lower time frame extreme. We tapped perfectly into the 80% of our spring. The only thing that, you know, I didn't take this trade. The stop loss was just massive. Stop loss was something like, I think 18 or 19 pips, something like that. Yeah, it was 18.7 pips. So nothing I wanted to take out of it. But when we look at what EA has done, so we did have an accumulation, and I'll tell you right now, the accumulation happened during Asian session. So it's already a negative red flag for me. But what I need to do is, before I take an accumulation out of this last push, I need us to create a boof. I need us to trade up above this high right here. I need to invalidate the distribution, invalidate supply, so that we can get a pullback so that I can buy out of this price action. And the only way, because this is Asian session, the only way I'm taking an entry is in the form of a schematic, right? Just because I don't trust that Asian session price action at all. Okay, cool. Hold on. Let me just put my AC down. All right, cool. So EA, pretty simple, right? I need us to break that high. I need us to essentially trade above, invalidating supply. And then from there, I will, you know, definitely be looking for buys out of here. Something maybe like later in the week is what I'm going to be looking at. All right. And then overall, like I said, I'm looking to take EA, you know, to an all-time, you know, to we've already broken or invalidated this distribution, this supply point in here. You know, so we're looking at a minimum, you know, we're looking at about a 500 pip move. And, you know, ultimately from there, you know, my targets have always been to get into this redistribution, right? You know, I really like the 168. You know, that's from current price right now, that's 800 pips, but from where I want to get at entry, you know, we're talking about 900 pips from there. So, and then, you know, if we can invalidate this area of supply, you know, EA has got its name written all over this area up here, right? All that COVID mess. So, you know, it's, you can look to see the order flow, right? On the intraday, we're bullish, right? This reminds me a lot of GA. You know, nothing about this on a higher time frame is saying anything about weakness. Okay, so I like EA for the buys. I just now need just to be patient with it. Okay, let's see. You said Asian never lasts, yet price doesn't always invalidate these Asian price ranges immediately. Sometimes at all for longer periods of time before returning from your view. What makes Asian range as invalid as you described it? What makes it? So my back testing. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I would definitely, if you feel comfortable with the Asian price action, I would definitely, trade how you want to trade it. I will tell you that for me, the time I put into Asian price action, I mean, just here, I'll just show you like, a quick little glimpse. Asian price action for me is what I'm looking for I'm waiting for, where is she at? I'm waiting for Asian price action to get swept and I take my entry. I'm waiting for, where is it? I'm waiting for Asian price action to get swept and then I'm taking my entry. I had, was another one, Chef JPY, I think. Let's see, Chef JPY. Yeah, I mean, I don't trade Asian session. For me, that for me, no, it's a no-go. But like I said, I mean, there's 1,000 ways to trade it, to skin a cat. If you're comfortable trading Asian, take it. I'm not here to tell you don't take it. I'm just telling you that you will never see me take an Asian entry. So does that mean I miss entries? Sure. I mean, EA happened during Asian. I missed the entry, right? When this came into the buy area, where I was looking for the buy, absolutely. Like I had the limit order set off this 80% here. We came right into it. But that's fine. I don't mind missing the entry. I mind losing a lot of money because I keep missing the entries, or I keep trying to take the entries and they miss. So since COVID wasn't really natural in the economy, do you think it can be manipulated that high? Yeah, absolutely. Listen, if you don't think, wait a minute here. If you don't think that, where is she at? If you don't think that this was a manipulation in the best of its, in the super duper, area of manipulation, then yeah, you may want to reevaluate. But this was purposeful, right? This happened for a reason. This was going to happen whether COVID did or not. Now, obviously, the speed of it happened because they can blame it on COVID, right? But absolutely, yeah. Do you mark every distro in accumulation? Does that make it easy to see what to look for? Do I mark it? I don't mark it. I would say, I'll tell you right now, and you can ask people that, it may assist you in understanding the structure, supply and demand in the market cycle a whole lot better if you mark out what you're seeing. All right. I think that would probably be something that if you did that, you would have a better understanding of where supply and demand is resting, where, what cause and effect has occurred. Obviously when you start to see it and train your eye, you don't have to mark it out as well. Yeah, exactly, man. If you got it. And yeah. So follow your trading plan. Absolutely. I'm partial with Asian range. Just curious to understand your perspective. Yeah. I'll tell you what, like if you go, I mean, yeah, like show me the stats on it. Like if you trade it, tell me how many wins and how many losses you caught from an Asian manipulation where London or New York swept the Asian highs or Asian lows. I can tell you that for me, it's a significant amount. I mean, I've got hundreds and hundreds of charts showing where it does that, and it's just not worth it. I mean, heck, I'll tell you right now, hold on. Where's here? I'll do this, let's see. So for me, time is money, right? Time is money. So here it is. This is, where's she at? I mean, I'll tell you this for year to date, where is it? year to date, 2021, I have made 82% of my profits during New York session entries. Only 18% of it would have been during Asian. So for me, is it worth me spending a couple extra hours during Asian session for 18%? Or should I just focus on my New York session and manipulation of those Asian highs and lows? And for me, the answer is yes. This is where I do it. If your journal tells you something else, follow your journal. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Just follow your plan. So, but like I said, me, I'm not playing an Asian price action whatsoever. Never. There's been 3 trades the entire year that I missed out on that were big trades, and I'm perfectly fine with it, because when you add in all the other stupid little trades that I would have lost, not only the time, because for me, it's just not the money, it's also the time that it takes to manage them, the equity, the margin, all that stuff. So, yeah. How to know major supply and demand? How to know it? I guess ask yourself what it did. Yeah. Let's see. Everything in between the range is noise to me. Yeah. It is. It's order flow. Everything in the middle is order flow. So when does New York session start for me? 8 a.m. Eastern. So yeah. How to identify supply and demand? Find your schematics. Find your distribution, that's supply. Find your redistribution, that's supply. Find your accumulations and your reaccumulations, that's demand. So what broker do you recommend for new traders? Yeah, I mean, I don't have, I can tell you, I don't have I can't tell you, oh, this one broker is the best in the world. He's the greatest. This broker's, spreads, their commission fees, their swap fees, everything. It's better than slice spread. I can't tell you that because there is no such thing. I can tell you, depending on where you're at, what country you live in, there's better brokers. I will tell you this, for me personally, I want a regulated broker. Because if there is ever an issue, and I'm okay sacrificing a little bit of spread or a little bit of commission for that regulation, because at the end, I want to be protected. So, yeah. All right. So on EU, I'll tell you this on EU, just because I know it's already 10, man. And I told myself I'd only do this for like an hour and a half. On EU, right? Again, like, this is another miss. I really wanted to come into this 80% of this reaccumulation, this area of demand. I had the 5-hour candle that I was waiting for. We didn't get it, right? So instead, what we did do is we invalidated supply and we broke lower time frame. So on EU, we are back to being bullish on the higher time frame. We are bullish on the intraday, and now we are bullish on the lower time frame. So, for me, I'm ready for buys. Now, the only thing that I am waiting for, right? And if we do some comparable strength analysis, right? You can come over to, there we go. You can come over to the DXY, and you'll see that the DXY has failed to make that low. So that's what I'm kind of waiting on, right? Where if we just invert it, right, you'll see that on EU, hold on, there we go. On EU, right, we've broken this high right here, where on DXY, we have not done that yet. So, what I'm waiting for, I want this all to be in confluence. So I'd like us to do this. And then for me, EU buys are on the table anyway, but I would have I would be more resilient with my risk when DXY breaks that. Okay. So can you do a breakdown on EJ? I'll look at it real quick. EJ's not on my primary watch list this week. So, I haven't really paid too much attention to EJ. Gold, yeah, my projection on gold is long term, it's bearish. I mean, I can definitely tell you that it's bearish. So, but anyway, on EU, I'm looking for buys. I will be looking for a buy out of. Ultimately, I'm going to be looking for a buy out of this area right here, right? Like when we look at what happened in here, just come on down, you go to like the 5 minute. And like I said, you had a really nice accumulation that happens in here. You had Frankfurt that sweeps the Asian lows. You have the break of structure, and then you come back to mitigate into 80% of both the spring and the reaccumulation that occurs here on the lower time frame. So this was a really clean entry. And then, where I'm looking is, you've got your 10-minute candle right in here that I'm looking to take, which is the 50% of the 10-minute. The 40-minute is the most voluminous candle in this entire area here. So I'm going to be looking for potential entry on EU for a buy out of this. I like it. Again, session time is going to be pretty important for me to get there. So we're kind of dancing around in this area here. I'm pretty convinced at this point that, especially with this being Asian lows and these the Asian lows, this still being our leg, I'm still pretty convinced that we're going to be down here tomorrow or the next day for me to look for that buy. All right. Yeah. And gold buys? No, did you not hear what I said? Like, I'm long term, I'm looking to sell gold long term. Yep. Yeah. Just look at the daily chart. Gold will tell you what it's doing on the daily chart. Don't get caught up on the lower time frame stuff. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. On GJ, yeah, we'll get to it, man. We'll get to it. So on GA, I'm pretty much in confluence with EA. Like I wanted it to come really a little lower in here. We did tap into the area that I was looking at, but nothing, hasn't given me any buying opportunity. So GA, I'm still bullish on GA. Look at the higher time frame. Nothing about this price action is telling me any weakness. And when you look at a market cycle, right? We've got the reaccumulation that gives the expansionary move. I won't be bearish until we invalidate this area down here. So I'm going to be patient with it. I'm still holding small buys or small volume of buys from down here and from here. So I'm perfectly content with GA either building something here. Maybe we get something like this, a spring, and then we break and go higher on an intraday time frame. If that's the case, it's going to take a while. If we're looking at a 1 hour schematic to print out, right now what we've got is you've got your trading range, you've got your slingshot, you've got your selling climax, your secondary test, you have another secondary test. If we get into that spring and then break structure like this, this will be my spring, this will be my STB, I'll be looking for an entry in here to go higher. So, but like I said, each candle being an hour, you're talking probably 2-3 days for all of this to kind of materialize, so GA, I'm still looking for buys on GA. I'm pretty content with it. GJ, now on GJ, same thing. GJ is a little different from CAJ in the fact that we never broke the low, right? We never broke the low. So, realistically, this in here does not hold any structure like it does on CAJ. However, I am still looking for a potential selling opportunity, right? What I'll be looking for is same thing. We had a couple of distributions in here. Actually, here, hold on. There we go. So same kind of thing, right? We had, Asian price action. We do trade above it here, sweeping the high. And then what do? We make a low. Same thing here, Asian price action. London sweeps the high, and then we make a low. Asian price action, London sweeps the high, and then we make a low. So, I was looking for the buy out of this morning. I have since, deleted the order coming into the end of New York session, just because I don't want, I don't want to take an entry out of Asian session. Now, will I, if I'm up for it, will I take an entry out of a distribution out of this? Absolutely. So like if this does start to form a distribution coming into London session, I may throw half of my risk out of a mitigation out of here. So ideally, like maybe London sweeps it, gives me the UTAD, I get triggered on half of my order. And then when we break that low of structure point, whatever, wherever that price action is going to be, whatever the break of structure would be, I will then go ahead and put the rest of my order on the test of the UTAD to then go lower. So that's kind of how I would play it. For me right now, these limit orders though are done until we get closer to London session. Let's see. What's the indicator? There's a couple of them. Sessions on the chart. Yeah, sessions on the chart is the one that I like to use. So this one right here, sessions on the chart. Yep. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting on. We'll see how it plays out. Like I said, I'm not interested. I mean, here's a prime example. If you would have gotten into since last week, Asian session here, yeah, you would have been a little bit of profits, but then taken out. Asian session here, a little bit of profits, but then taken out. Asian session here, a little bit of profits, then taken out. So yeah, I mean, overall, you can see where my targets are. I want to take out these lows right here from Asian. I do want to come down and make a new low down here. So I like the distribution. I'm just waiting now for the confirmations of it. So I am looking for GJ to, to come down some. Do I use I use it for take profits. Yeah. I'll use it for take profits. I don't use it for entries because for me, there's no sense in why use a 7 pip stop loss because of a quarter theory number when I can use a 3 pip because I'll take a better entry off of a percentage of whatever that candle is. Do I trade London and New York? So I trade New York. I get up early sometimes for London. So my journal tells me Thursday's my best day. So Thursday is my London day. Like I'll make sure I'm up for London on Thursdays. I don't waste my time getting up early on like on Monday or Tuesday. What's the indicator again? Sessions on chart. So we'll talk about GN. Just like GA, I'm bullish on GN. Could you explain what? Can you explain supply a little more? I understand it for direction, but I'm used to supply from the point of there's more of something, so price is reduced. So your supply point is, I mean, technically you could still, supply and demand is still the same concept, but just supply is all your short sellers. When supply comes into the market, those short sellers are attempting to move the market into a discounted price. Hold on. What would you? All right, so like my suggestion is like if you're new to trading, I mean, knowledge is everything. My biggest advice, don't open up a live account, right? Don't be in a rush to lose money. Practice, you know what I mean? Like think about anything you do in life. Play sports. Do you just go play a professional game? No, you practice. You fly an aircraft. Do you just jump in a cockpit? No, you practice. Anything you do, you want to practice and learn it. So dive into it. There's tons of free content. There's tons of paid content that you can pay for. If you're serious about trading, I'll tell you right now, if you're serious about trading, I was pretty adamant on what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a full-time trader. So I knew that I had to invest in my education. So there's tons of, things you can pay for to learn. Obviously some of them you're going to learn are crappy. Some of them are fantastic. So, invest in the education, and then from there, perfect your craft. How do you perfect it? You just keep practicing it. I've told, how I've gone about it. I've demoed the crap and back tested the crap out of this strategy that I know it like the back of my hand. It builds not only a mindset and psychological like strength to the analysis, but it also helps me in determining when and how and why I'm going to take trades. So that's my biggest advice. Where's Sango? Man, Sango's in lockdown. Sango is in lockdown. Sango is, if you guys don't know, like Australia is in some crazy lockdown. And he's honestly, he's trying to keep his personal business, right? Because he has his own business. He's trying to keep his business afloat right now because it is a nightmare over there. So yeah. No, it is. Yeah. I think I talked to him like last week. So yeah, it's a nightmare over there, man. So I definitely, I definitely I feel bad, so hopefully the US, we don't get to that point. I can honestly see them trying to do some shenanigans like that. It's a mess though. So, hold on, bear with me. Okay. Can even begin to express so much value. Yep. Awesome. You got it. Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's get back into like GN, right? GN. So I was looking, I had this marked out on GN, this accumulation, right? And when we look at structure, I mean, just pay attention to what happened, right? You can see from an intraday perspective, follow the market cycle, right? Market cycle does what? Your accumulation into your reaccumulation, into your distro, into your redistro, into your accumulation, right? So just pay attention, like look at this distro, look at this accumulation. Who filled more orders? Did supply fill more sell orders? Did demand fill more buy orders? So when we see that accumulation, right, and we follow that, and we can see that this is our slingshot that does what? Creates the new high. This is technically my slingshot on the intraday, right? So when price comes into that area, this is where like I want to refine the entry. Well, what happened into this area here? I mean, you should be able to see really clean accumulation, but you should also be able to see, what time frame am I on? 5. Let's see. You should also be able to see the type 1 schematic that's printed here, right? You have, and again, what do we have? We have Asian price action, we have London manipulation, and then we have coming into New York session sweeps that low. You have your 1, 2, 3 drives. Here's your spring. So for me, I wanted to find this candle right here. So, for me, it was the 2-hour candle, right? 2-hour candle is what I was looking at. 80% of the 2 hours, what I wanted. So when price came into that puppy, it missed me by, I don't even know. Like I was a little bent over this one. Missed me by 3 pips, 3 pips. So, it is what it is. Now I'm just going to wait for confirmations to re-enter this trade. If you guys didn't catch it, I think, what was it, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, this was actually a pretty good selling opportunity. I thought I had it marked out. Yeah, here we go. Out of this redistribution, this was a really good selling opportunity. So it gave 1 to 152 to the buy area. So if the price action's still there, I would definitely go back and back test the redistro if you get the chance. So it gave a pretty good selling opportunity. What is your win ratio using? What is my win ratio? Excluding break evens? I couldn't tell you excluding break evens. My break evens is, I count a break even as a win. So for me, I'm anywhere between 50 and 60% is my winning percentage. So on average, well, I'll tell you right now, year to date, I think it's like 61%. But I would say that it's probably in the 50s consistently. So I know I'm going to lose half my trades. Yep. And I'm okay with it. I think year to date, I think the worst month I've had this year was January, where I think I won like 33 or 36% of my trades. What would be in the middle of nowhere? The redistro? Is the redistro in the middle of nowhere? Is that what you're asking? Well, so let me ask you, what's the purpose of a redistribution? It's a continuation move, right? So like, what do you mean? Is it in a point of interest? How would a redistribution be in a point of interest on a higher time frame if it's a continuation play? If that makes sense. Exactly. Yeah. So it's a continuation play. So, like what, like for smart money traders, what does a smart money trader call a redistribution, right? Or reaccumulation, right? They're, rally-based rallies or drop-based drops, right? That's all a redistribution is. So there is no higher time frame point of interest on them because they're continuation plays. All right. What's the highest R to R I've caught? I think so far, I think the highest is like a 1 to 287 on Chef JPY is still the highest I've caught. So yeah, I definitely missed out on some. I mean, hell, this GJ one would have been a 1 to, what the hell is it? A 1 to 400 and something. What was it? A 1 to, oh no, CAD-J, that's what it was, CAD-J. The CAD-J one would have been a 1 to 400. Yeah, 1 to 490. It would have been it would have been a 1 to 490 to the low. So it was actually a 1 to if not that I haven't perfected how to know exactly where it's going to come to. But had I held it to this, it would have been a 1 to 614. So yeah, it would have been a 1 to 614, but I didn't take it. I was stuck on a canoe with my kids. So no entry. All right. So on GN, like, what am I looking for on GN now? Well, we clearly had a higher time frame accumulation, right? You got your higher time frame accumulation. Can either this ST or the STB be lower or higher from each other? Yeah, they can. All you need to do is just validate that it's testing in an accumulation, just needs to test a demand, or in a distribution just needs to test supply. For me, I don't care. Like if this was a distribution, if this one and these would both be STs, it doesn't matter that this one is higher than this one. So yeah, I don't, same thing. Like, if this was, let's just say that this was my climax here. Well, this could be an ST, this could be an ST, this could be an ST, this could be an ST. This could have been a spring. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's see. Do you ever increase risk on your personal account because you know that you're consistent with your strategy and you're 50%? No, I nope. For me, risk management always stays the same because I don't know. I don't know which if this is my wins and these are my losses. I don't know which one is, when this trade comes up, I don't know if it's going to go here or if it's going to go here. I just know statistically I've got a 50-50 shot. So, the same risk every time. Yep. Let's see. Cool. All right. So on GN, we have our larger time frame schematic. You can see I've got my alert up here. I'm just waiting, right? Same thing like EA. I just want us to now break this high. So if we do break this high, you can already see what's setting up. We have an accumulation that, hold on, we have an accumulation that plays out here. And you know, what does this look like? What does this look like right here for you? What do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, well, it's a distro, but it's definitely it. You know, my bet is it's going to be a reaccumulation. So, you know, if we go ahead and jump our creek and we break the high and we break, creating that break of order flow, you know, this now becomes my slingshot. This becomes my extreme, right? So my points of interest are going to be, you know, ultimately these two areas right here, number one, number two. So, you know, we go ahead and trade above the high. You know, I'll be looking for the pullback into my slingshot, which is going to be the reaccumulation, or I'll be looking for price to come back in here, you know, and then from there, take it higher. That's ultimately how I'm going to be waiting to play this out. So, you know, however long it takes, you know, I'll let it do its thing. You know, but definitely you can already see this is starting to play out. And, you know, for some reason, let's just say that, you know, price doesn't break this high. All right, well, if it doesn't break that high, then I'm not looking for any more buys on it until we get that break of order flow. All right. How do we know that it is a reaccumulation? I just said it, right? What are the two things that were, or a new high or new low, right? However you want to say it, right? A new high or low. And we need the jump across the creek. So here's your creek. We jump across it, and we would need to make that new high. Once that happens, we now have confirmed a reaccumulation, right? Yep, there you go. That's how we know it. That's how we're going to confirm it. All right. So you just got to wait on it. And for me, like, I'm not going to take just, if we do this, right, without breaking this high, it's not enough for me, right? If we're going to come within 5 pips of breaking this high, it needs to break the high. And if it doesn't, it's, you know, what has it done? Well, it's still, if it hasn't broken this high here, we haven't broken order flow. All it's done is what traded into supply, right? That then created a new low, because this does make a new low. So in reality, we are still bearish order flow, and this is our leg, right? We're still bearish order flow. So that's why I need this alert to go off to tell me that we are bullish. Okay. So that's GN. You know, I'm very positive with GN. I like where it's going. And again, you know, where am I looking to take this? Well, just follow the market cycle, right? From an intraday perspective, right? We are in the slingshot of our intraday. So if we're accumulating here, I'm going to be looking to take it up to here, right? This is the main area that I want to take some partials at. And I mean, that's not a bad day. We're looking at about a 700 pip move. And then overall, I'll be looking to take what? I'll be looking for this high to get taken. So I've been saying GN, I wanted to get above 2 back in like February, March, when we were down in here. We did that. We broke above 2. And, you know, I still see us continuing higher. All right. Let's see. Aren't we? Wait a minute. Aren't we bullish on prop? What do you mean? On prop what? Talking about like on the prop firm, on the price action? I would just double check. So hold on, let me look. No, we're not bullish on it, man. No, we're not bullish on it. I'll tell you right now, so just make sure you check other brokers, so prop firm, like proprietary firm brokers, FTMO, prop firm, funding talent, right? Just keep in mind this, they have they're a third party liquidity provider. So they have to get their liquidity from somewhere else. let me hear, I'll open up my MT5 real quick. Let me see. Or maybe FXCM given it. Why? Because on FXCM it broke? I don't think it broke on FXCM. Yeah, it didn't break on FXCM. Here's your high. Yeah. Are you talking because this didn't trade lower? Is that what you're saying? So this is wrong, right? Like if you look at FXCM, yeah, if you come over here, yeah, just look at the look at your volume profile. There's no orders in this. This is between market open at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So this is all just stupid price action. Look at it. There's no orders. There's no orders in this wick down here or anything. So I would, for me personally, like that's all just, that's a ghost feed. So yeah, if that's what you're looking at, bro. So yeah, I wouldn't pay any attention to this. This happens right at market open, and this is all that manipulative crap. So I would be looking just like how forex.com has this. This was where that order came, and Awanda, same thing. So this is why, like, I don't use FXCM too often, because they do that stupid ghost feed all the time, man. Yeah. Let's see. But you have a 60% win rate statistically. Isn't that always profitable on the long term? So yeah, like, so what should I, let me ask you this. What should I risk? Should I risk 5%? Should I risk 2.5%? Should I risk, if I know I'm winning 60% of my trades, why not risk 10%? That way, out of that 10%, if I win 6 out of 10, you know, think about how much money I can make. Yeah, I mean, you can. I'll tell you right now, I'm perfectly content, 1/4%. I won't risk anything more than 1/4%. So I like the numbers I deal with 1/4%. I like the fact that I'm not gambling my money away. You know, I know that, especially if you trade a prop firm account, I know that I will never blow my account. You know, you only get 10% drawdown in a month. So if you risk 1% and you lose 10 trades in a row, that's it. You blew your account. You just wasted your entire challenge and verification. For me, on 1/4%, I can lose 40 trades. I can tell you I've never lost 40 trades in a row. You know, the most I've lost in a row, I think, was 7 trades in a row is what I've lost. So yeah, you know, I'm perfectly content with 1/4%. Between which timeframes would I define higher time frame? Yeah, I mean, I would say, I mean, the number doesn't matter. It's look at the legs. Yeah, look at the legs. Yeah, I would. I mean, for me, the fiscal year ends in 3 weeks. So I would personally not be, I mean, I could tell you, I'm not going to be probably trading the last week of September. So it's up to you. You know, I would wait till October 1st. If you're going to do a challenge, I would wait till October 1st, because you're potentially going to see a slowdown in volatility. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I got eight CADs on my list as well. Do I have a recording of the webinar you did that I can purchase? A webinar like that boot camp? No, I don't. All right, let's look at GU is another one I'm looking at. Prop firms. I'll tell you, like, it's all dependent upon how you like to trade and what you do. I can tell you personally, I'm going to stop trading my FTMO account just because it's costing me more heartache than anything, because I can't hold over the weekends. And I know they have that weekend swing or whatever the hell it's called, but for me, it's not even worth it, not with the margin that they offer. So I could say I personally trade for TPT. I've heard Funding Talent has very similar payouts now, and they have a structured, uh, you know, account that you can trade and hold over weekends and news. I would just say do your due diligence, look at them. I like I said, I personally I've had no issues with TPT. So, and I think now I want to say March is when I passed the first challenge with them. So, yep, prop trading. Yeah, yeah. I like them. So, yeah, Funding Talent. I mean, I know a couple of people that that trade for them, on the new plan. Like their original accounts were crap. It was just stupid how they had it building and stuff like that. But I don't have anything negative to say because I really haven't looked into too much of it. So, so would you define structure in 3 stages? Yes. Yep. That's how I define structure. Yep. Higher time frame, lower time frame in my intraday. Yes, that's how I define it. All right. So GU. Now GU, I am bullish on GU, right? I am still holding my partial order out of this reaccumulation that was caught back in July. I did take, significant partials when we broke our lower time frame structure here. This was, 400 pips total, but I'm still holding partials of that. All right. And what have we done? We broke lower time frame. We came back into the extreme of lower time frame, right? I had a limit order. It missed my limit order. But if you pay attention to what happened in here, I think it's the 9-minute candle is what I'm personally going to be putting a limit order on, right? And again, what do we have, right? We have Asian session sweep, Frankfurt coming to New York. New York gives us a really, really clean spring, right? This is your type 1 schematic. We break, you can see we break structure right here. Price doesn't come anywhere close to mitigating out of the micro. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a micro schematic, right? We don't come back and mitigate. We left a lot of this open. We did come to the open of it, but we also did, right, leave liquidity, right? We have some relatively equal lows. So if there's reason for the market to come back to mitigate out of this schematic, to fill more orders in the form of filling or swapping out between this stop loss and their buy order, they're going to do it, right? So, if you haven't already, I would definitely mark out this schematic. And if you have the seconds time frame, I would get the data on that. I'll tell you right now, I'm perfectly fine taking the 9-minute. But where GU is right now, right? I'm still waiting. That this hasn't validated yet for a limit order, right? Because we haven't broken the structure point. We haven't taken this new high. So until we do this and trade above here, this does not become the extreme of my structure on the lower time frame. All right. So at this point, all I'm doing, GU is bullish on the higher time frame, right? Bullish on our lower time frame, but we're bearish on the intraday. Okay. So at this point, all I'm going to be doing is just playing order flow, right? Even though I hate order flow, you can clearly see accumulation, reaccumulation, reaccumulation. Here's your distro, right? So price is coming back into the point of reaccumulation. So, if I get a schematic printing in here, maybe like New York session, yeah, I'll be taking it higher. If not, what I'll be doing is just waiting for price action to tell me, all right, what happens when we come into this redistribution? What happens when we come into this distro? In a perfect world, what I want it to do, just break this high here. I could set the limit order down here on the extreme and then figure out if this is, hypothetically say this is the cause of the break, this now becomes my slingshot. So this is my first point of interest to look for when price comes back down. Okay. Is that distro not a POI because it did nothing? Is that distro not, you talking about this distro? What, this distro here? Which, right, yeah, I'm not looking to sell it. No, I'm not looking to sell GU at all. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for buys. So, but I mark it out because, you know, I want to still see what we do in there. I want to see, you know, potentially that could be a hedge position as well. You know, like if I was in a buy, you know, I can potentially look to hedge my position here. I'd rather take partials or profits off the sell than out of the buy, which I'm looking to take higher. So I can hold more volume on the buy. Yeah. TPT. Yeah. The prop trading firm. Yeah. That's all TPT stands for. Yeah. In which session. So for me, I only like to get schematics out of London and New York. So should look at a schematic. Yeah. For me, if the schematic builds during London or New York, that's game time for me. That's where I'm going to take it for. So yeah. Yep. So on GU, like I said, I'm bullish on GU. You know, we're getting some pretty good price action out of it. We broke in lower time frame structure on it. You know, like I said, I'm just looking for that continuation. And what I want to do is I want to get us, because this is what's maintaining intraday structure, right? This push right here. So I want to get us into this distribution. All right. And then see what we're going to do. See if this is where we're either going to distribute here or if we're going to invalidate supply and make a new intraday high. You know, so, and don't forget, I mean, don't oversee the fact that on a higher time frame, right? What are we doing? On a higher time frame, it's looking like we are in a larger distribution, right? You can potentially see this as a BC to AR to ST to MSAL. And who knows, maybe we get a UT to a UTAD, right? And then we break and do something like that. Yeah, that could happen, you know, but I mean, realistically, that's something that'll happen next year. You know, if this is going to be a daily, if this is a higher time frame schematic. All right. I think you need to change your streaming bitrate to improve the image quality. All right. How do I do that, man? Yeah. I couldn't, I have no idea. I know I do it in, it's got to be Zoom, because when I do it with just a straight YouTube, it's fine. It's got to be Zoom that's throttling it. Yeah. If you show me or tell me how to change the bit rate, the last time I checked, it was set to 1080p. And I know it's not my internet, because my internet's running pretty good. Well, it could be my internet. I don't know. What's my internet doing right now? Let's see. What is my internet doing right now? Yeah, my internet's running fine. It is a little slow. I mean, normally I'm in the like 600s, but let's see what the upload is. Yeah, no, my upload's fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be Zoom that's like throttling it, because I'm running everything through Zoom. So yeah. Let's see. And what's that you mentioned about? What's that you mentioned about swiping Asian and London low by New York? Yeah, I mean, just go back and back test some pairs and see what happens during Asian session, London session, in New York. So that's why I don't trade Asian sessions, because I'm expecting that liquidity of the highs and lows to get taken on it. Can you explain what to look for when back testing? Yeah, get your trading plan. If you don't have a trading plan, go through and figure out, why did entries happen? You know, why did come back, go to GN to last week and figure out what this entry was right here, right? Back test this entry. So figure out where it came into and why it came into there. And then that's how you develop your trading plan, your rules, you know. how did this happen? Why did it happen? For what reason did price come into the distribution that was here into the redistribution? You know, and that's how you back test. You know, find out the who, what, when, and why. You know, you want all those answers, or all those questions to be answered, and that's how you properly back test. And then obviously incorporate your trade management, understand where to partial out, how to you know, siphon out some of that volume, how to you know whether you're going to mitigate by moving your stop loss, or you're going to be partially out more partial, stuff like that. So how many trades do I take per week? It depends. I mean, I would say on average, maybe like 5 to 7 trades a week is what I take. I mean, it could be, you know, maybe depending on the week, maybe a little less, you know, definitely it could be a little more. I could tell you right now, I this year I've yet to take more than 10 trades in a week. So it's definitely, you know, probably between 5 and 7 would be a good estimation. Yeah. Okay. So that's, you know, pretty much that's GU. That's what I'm looking at on GU. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm going to be patient with it. Ideally, I'd love for us to make that new high, but I also will be looking for, you know, like that London into New York session and accumulation to come back into, you know, ultimately something in here. All right. Going into the rest, nothing's changed on USD CHF. I think the last time I did a Zoom, like 3 weeks ago, I've been waiting on this. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. So you can kind of see what US dollar Swiss franc is doing here. You know, we had the, you know, overall, we've had a distribution. We got that distribution to come into accumulate into prior demand, which was this reaccumulation. From there, we've just been sideways, you know. So what I'm waiting for is I want to see us come back down. I want to trade into this accumulation here to ultimately take this up. But you know, nothing's changed. You know, we're 190 pips from it. So I'm just kind of going to let it do its thing. What cryptos do I like? I'll tell you what, go to like Coin Market Cap or Coin Gecko. The top 100 cryptos is pretty much what's in my repertoire. That's what I like. I'm not doing anything with UJ. I don't have anything on UJ. I mean, UJ for me has just been nothing I want to trade probably in the last 3 months. All right, so AudCAD, we'll go down the list here. AudCAD, I'm waiting still for a potential sell out of this. So, you know, when we look at what happened here, this shakeout candle, right? It's a redistribution. How do we know it's a redistribution? Because it is a accumulation that failed, right? Well, if this was the sign of strength on the accumulation, what did this do, right? What did this do? Well, this took out these sellers, and these sellers. So it took out from the middle of May all the way to the middle of July. It took out every weak-handed seller that was here. So there's a lot of supply, right? A lot of short sellers that got into the market. This was a manipulated move right here. It took a lot of power to give that FU candle and then the drop. So I like this as my shakeout, right, in the redistro. For me, it's the 410-minute candle. Obviously, I'm not going to be taking a limit order because it's like a 30 pip stop to that 80%. Yeah, it's like a 25 pip stop. So what I'm going to be waiting for is, you know, that break. So I want to get up into here. I'm going to sell it. So yeah, what you got, man? What are you looking at? This right here? Let's see. Why would I not consider that a break of structure? Yeah, it is a break of structure, a lower time frame break of structure. Yep, it is a lower time frame break of structure. But we are intraday break of structure, right? So why wouldn't I, if I know that this is the intraday slingshot, right? I'm going to take an intraday slingshot off it before I take a lower time frame break of structure. So, you know, so what you're looking for is you're going to be buying, right? When it comes back down, you're going to be buying. Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely if you want to. I'm going to be looking for that sell though. That's what I'm going to be waiting for. Now, if it doesn't give me the distribution and we invalidate this by trading higher, at that point, we have invalidated the slingshot. And I know now that we're going to be coming up at minimum into the extreme. So I will then be looking for buys to go higher. But until we invalidate the intraday slingshot, I'm bearish on this until we do that. So yeah, that's how I'm going to be playing it, but yeah, I mean, if you're happy with that, I personally, listen, the way I trade, intraday trumps lower time frame, right? Higher time frame trumps intraday. The higher the time frame, the more powerful it is. So yeah, for me, this means absolutely nothing to me. It's the same thing. Like if I'm going off of that, right? If I'm going to go off of that concept, then I should not be looking for buys on GN, right? Because of this, because we broke, right? It's the same concept that you've got on ACAD, right? Because we broke this, I should be looking for that on GN, where I'm not. I'm looking for the opposite. So yeah. Let's see. Cool. Awesome. EU is bouncing. It's bouncing off of a 4-hour accumulation. EU is bouncing off a 4-hour accumulation. Huh? You talking about this over here? The intraday? Yeah. If that's what you're talking about. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's, I was looking for a buy out of here. Now we did come into the 50%. You could see like where my 50% was. Right? Oh, son of a gun. Here's my 50%. And yeah, we came into the 50%. Yep, absolutely. That's why I'm looking for buys. Yeah. So on ACAD, like I said, ACAD, I'm just gonna be waiting for it. I got my alert up there. I want to see us kind of get into this and start to distribute. If I see the proper confirmations for me to get into it, yeah, all day long I'll be selling this, and I'll be looking to take a new low on it, because from a higher time frame perspective, you can see where we need to come into, right? We've broken intraday structure right here, and I want to get into this COVID spike, right? Because ultimately this is what's maintaining higher time frame structure. So, whether we come into this reaccumulation somewhere in here, whatever, I mean, it's still a massive amount of pips. We're talking 600-700 pips. So ACAD for me, I'm liking that. AJ, I'm trying to think what I had on AJ. So AJ, yeah, AJ, kind of same thing, right? I was looking for lower time frame distribution. We never got a distro last week, and I have AJ up. I don't prefer AJ. I prefer NJ, right? So if you can look at this price action in here, right? It is what it is, but you go over to NJ. NJ's got a super, super clean type 1 schematic, right? You can see right here, your climax to your AR, to your secondary test, to your test in B, to your spring, and that spring created the break of structure. So what I'm waiting for now is, ideally, I want us to trade above this high right here, invalidate supply. We do that, I'm going to be looking for buys to go higher. So we'll see how it plays out. Do I have a team in IML that I trade with live? No. No. I was asked a long time ago not to uh, how do I put it? Not to like share my charts or stuff because they were like, I think they used like the word too technical or something like that. So it was putting people off. I don't scalp. Um, I do scalp, but not very often. No, yeah. Like, what's a scalp for you? For me, it's got to be a minimum of a 1 to 10 R to R. So yeah, no, I don't. I'm not scalping like. Yeah, no. I have a scalping strategy that I use, but yeah, it's a little more in depth. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, for me, it's not worth the time for me to scalp it. I prefer to swing them. If I can get in and swing a trade for 3, 4, 500 pips off of a 3, 4, 5 pip stop loss. That's kind of how I like to play it. So anyway, on NJ, I'm just waiting for us to take out this high up here. If we take out this high right here, it's game on for me for buys. So we're almost there. I mean, you could see we came within, I think, like 8 pips of it. So I'm just waiting to see if we do that. If we do that, and I'm going to use AJ, I'm not going to trade AJ. Even though AJ's already broken the high, I just like the NJ price action better. I think it's easier for me to find a setup on it. Yeah. Let's see. Saves energy too. What's that? Scalping. Yeah. Like I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I have friends of mine that scalp. I don't like to be on the computer that long. I don't like to be trading that long. So, when this yeah, I'm still in the testing phase. I told myself I wanted to demo it for over 100 trades. I want to develop my own like trading plan for it. So it's still in development. Like I haven't even live traded it. I'm still demo trading the scalping strategy I have. So, but most of the guys that are doing it with me, like, I've been definitely sharing a lot of charts with it, pre and post trades, and it's pretty good. I like the R to R on it. I like the profits that I'm getting out of it. So, all right. So that was AJ. We talked about NJ. AU is the same thing. Like AU, same thing. We've broken lower time frame structure. On that break, what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to be looking for AU now to come up into our. Why are my charts being weird? This is a distro. I don't know. I don't know what TradingView has been doing lately. I hate the fact, I don't know if you guys have seen, like when you save a chart now, the way it saves, like the ticker and all that are like smaller lettering. The, the thing that really pisses me off is like when I used to screenshot a chart, I can just hit save to download. Now I have to hit copy link. I have to open it up in a different freaking thing, and then I can save as. It's like they've added it here. This is what I'm talking about. See how like this here is a totally different font. It's like smaller now. I don't know what the heck they've been doing, man, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan. So anyway, AU, I'm anticipating us to get up into this area. So you can see, like, I'm looking now out of this reaccumulation or out of the accumulation that happened down here for buys. Once I can get price to come back down into those areas, that's where I'm going to be taking. I'm going to be looking to come up first into this area here, and see whether or not this turns into just one massive reaccumulation, which it could be. I'm very bearish on the US dollar. And, what do we do? Well, we came perfectly into an area of demand. It just didn't come. You could see my alert was down here. I had a buy limit set out of here, and we just didn't get it. So we have a reaccumulation. Reaccumulation causes this next high. So this is your expansionary move. So we have yet to really break major structure. The only thing we've broken is just this small little lower time frame stuff. All right. So, AU, and with that NU, NU coming nowhere close to where I wanted to buy it from. But, what do we do? Follow the market cycle, right? You have your distribution, right? down into a redistro, distro, into your redistro, into your accumulation, reaccumulation, distro, into your what? Into your redistro that then breaks and violates that structure. So on a intraday structure, what is this? Right? This is your accumulation, right? Here's your spring. So we've broken. So now what I want to see price come back into is like, if we measure, just do like I call it like the lazy man's fib, not actually finding the candle. But if you come in here, we know that 50% is right here. Well, what do we have at 50%? Well, we have a really clean reaccumulation. So I know that demand is present right here. And I know by just looking at it, I can tell that that's an accumulation in there. So these are my 2 points. My buy area is going to be right here. There's no sense in me, trying to take anything of a stop loss below here. So if this area gets clapped, I know we're coming lower. So, and that accumulation down there is, it's going to be the gravy. I mean, that's, I've already got it marked out on, I think it's on forex.com's chart, but just look at it. I mean, you've got your accumulation. We know that price ends up sweeping Asian lows. Boom. We know that we break above the high, we come back to mitigate. So, ideally I'm going to be looking for price to come back, into like this area right here. So I can take a buy. All right. Or we play out of that slingshot area, that 50%. Wait a minute. Let's see. After the logo change, they've been doing, yeah, man, it's stupid. It is stupid what they've been doing, man. Like I've written them already because like you get so used to, especially journaling takes so much of my time. I get so used to just screenshot, right? Download to my download file. Now, like I said, it just takes more, it takes 2-3 extra steps, which takes more time. Time is money for me, I just hate how they've been doing it. So wait, so the SC or the extreme, what? How do you, all right. How do I identify what the slingshot candle? How do you identify it? Just find the most voluminous candle. Yeah. Just find the most voluminous candle. Yeah. So, but on NU, I mean, like I said, I'm looking for the buys, I'm waiting for price to come back lower. If I can get that, that's where I'm going to be taking it. I like the fact that we broke lower time frame. And again, you have your reaccumulation that sits right at 50% of the entire spring move. And we have our accumulation down here. So, ultimately I'm going to be looking for price when we get into this area here to go up higher. And that's what I'm going to be waiting on. NU, it's a little bit of a ways from where I want to buy, but I'm okay with it. Same thing, AU, same exact thing. So, I'll definitely probably just use some comparable strength between AU and NU to determine which one I'm going to take. If AU starts to be the leader, I'll just play the laggard if it's NU, or vice versa. What about save chart image? What about save chart image? Like when I click this. So when I click save chart image, instead of it saving, I don't know if you can, hold on. So instead of, when I do that, I'll show you my desktop. So when I save that, right? When I save that, you can see, so I guess I can't do it like that. When I do, you could see when I save it normally, it saves the file as the actual file name. But when I save chart image, it saves it as AU with the date, which doesn't help me. Because if I wanted to, right? Like, let's just say I come over here and I get this image. When I go to journal it, I can just copy this PNG file name, right? And I can now come over here. Hold on. I can come over here, right? And if I have that, where to go? If I have that, here we go. If I have that PNG file name, right? I can just paste that in and I can make a hyperlink, and just having a backup of my chart on TradingView, I can paste it in here. And there we go. I have the chart that I was going to play. right? But now I can't do that if it's saved as AU 2021-09-07-23 because I have no idea what that file name is. So that doesn't help me any bit. Yeah, this is my dilemma. This is why I've written TradingView and I told them to stop doing stupid things. So yeah, yeah, no worries, no worries. Can you show us your journal, how to use it? Yeah, I did a video, it's on YouTube. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, yeah, I just can't, it's not going to take 5 minutes to do. You know, I did a video on it. What's the video called on YouTube? I'm pretty sure it's called Trading Journal. I don't know. Let's see. My videos. Can I go by playlist? Playlist. I think it's under fibs and profits. Let's see, fibs and profits. All right, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? Hold on. Here you go. Now, when you come here, I'm pretty sure it says, yeah, how to use a trade journal. There it is. And it's got my trade. Yeah, so there it is. All golden. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So yeah, AU, NU, I'm looking for the same. Your GBP is something I'm definitely got my eye on, right? Dude, my wife's going to kill me. She's probably in bed already. Your GBP, I'm definitely looking at taking this. I'm looking for sells on it. You know, we're still maintaining bearishness on it. Now, yes, this could be just a massive accumulation, right? This could be just a massive accumulation. And, you know, we'll get into that, right? So first and foremost, like whatever we've been doing, we pushed in a low. We came back to the extreme. We pushed in a low, right? So we're being maintained intraday from here, but you can see that we come in into the slingshot area. We come in into supply and we just keep making lows. So I will look for a distribution inside of that 1 hour candle, right? If I get the distribution, great. If I don't get the distribution, right, just know that we are bullish, right? Even though that this is a distribution, we have yet to break structure, right? So if this was our previous high, right, and we made this high, that means that this is maintaining bullishness. And, you know, if you go to the weekly candle, you know that we have tapped into the weekly candle. So could this just be a massive accumulation? It can be, absolutely. But just keep in mind that this massive accumulation, right, is only probably just starting phase B. Because if this is our selling climax to our automatic reaction to our secondary test, right, we potentially still can have, you know, something like this and then a spring that gets us into that weekly candle, or we just break that weekly candle altogether and we confirm the distribution. So one thing that EG has taught me, it's patience. You know, I've been following this weekly schematic since, oh geez, I don't even know. Let me see. Journal. See, charts, journal books, Euro GBP. Where's your GBP? So let's see. Yeah, you guys go. You guys want to see some crazy, some old charts? Here you go. This is how long I've been following Euro GBP. I've been following it since August 2020 when I marked out this distribution. So August 2020. So yeah, we're over a year that I've been following this distribution and we were way up here. So yeah, I would, you know, it's always nice to always look back at some of your charts. All right. Obviously I've cleaned them up a little bit since then. All right, let's see. What app do you use for back testing? I don't use an app. Nope. I just use TradingView. So go back, I do it the old school way. So I have a journal for back testing. I, go back and find where price reacted from. So, obviously you can't go lower time frame on some things, but let's just say that you want to back test this right here, right? So that price came into something here. So go to replay mode here, figure out what you want to play out of, watch price action. When it comes in there, it's either going to hit your stop loss or it's going to hit your take profit or your entry and then hit your take profit. So once you get that, go ahead and put that in your journal. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again, So that's how I do it. I keep a separate back testing journal. That's how I know what rules to follow, what wins, when loses, what to expect. And just keep doing that over and over. Or, like I said, you could pick, what was the last one of the last, I think GJ, right? GJ, we did, yeah. So, we did, was it forex.com or was it FXCM? Now it's FXCM. So, like we did a whole back test on GJ, right? We started, I don't remember if we started in here or if we started here, but we did this all the way up and then we took it all the way down and then we set up for our entries here and here. So we did, relatively this entire thing we did in a back testing session where we went through all of that. So, and you cover all your trades, take your screenshots. So I think like what I ended up doing, what was it? GJ, I'll give you guys just a quick little excerpt of it. So GJ, let's see, charts, journal books, GJ, distribution. Yeah, here we go. So then I'll just put it all in a PDF. I'll pull it all in a PDF and you could see, so these are all the back tests, right? Going through all of my charts when we did a back test, how I managed it, where we're going, I'll start throwing some notes, what I'm projecting to take partials on, and then obviously as trade starts to pan out a little more, then you start throwing some more, notes, but this is how you back test, you just keep going through it, what the I'm looking for buys out of this when we get in there, all the shenanigans. So this back test was about 30 slides. So, and then of course, and it left off with, now I'm waiting for an entry out of here or out of here. And that's what we got. We got the entry out of here to take lower. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's how I do the back testing. All right. All right. So we talked about Euro GBP, that's kind of what I'm waiting on, right now I'm waiting for that distribution to occur there. I know somebody asked about EJ. I'll be honest on EJ. I'm just waiting, we've broken structure here, right? By taking this low, but then now we're broken lower time frame. So technically we are bullish higher time frame, bearish intraday, bullish lower time frame. So the anticipation for me is that we're going to come higher before we make a new leg push down. The only thing that I'm, you can see I've kind of got like this area marked off and then there's an accumulation down here. So that's why I'm not EJ's on my primary list, but it's nowhere close to my entry point. I'm looking from the area that I kind of want to buy out of. We're talking almost 185 pips, so, I think across the Japanese yen, the crosses, I'm going to be bullish on them, short term. On some of them, I'm going to be longer term bullish, like Chef JPY, I'm going to be longer term bullish. It just has to come into the area that I want to buy out of. Yeah, But I mean, you can see we've broken structure on the intraday. So now that we've broken technically, right, this was the slingshot. Since we've broken that slingshot and we've invalidated the distribution that occurred here, you know, my eyes are set on this distribution up here because now this is the extreme of the leg, right? So, you know, at this point, if we come down, I'll be looking for buying opportunities to take it up into this area where I'd be looking for a hedge to then sell down. And, you know, from a higher time frame, you know, I'm looking for us to, you know, come back into like this area here. This is going to be the higher time frame reaccumulation that causes this move. So, you know, this slingshot area here would be maybe something that we make a new high out of. All right. So that's kind of what I got like an EJ on my plate. EN, you know, much like GN, you know, I was looking for bullishness. I'm not happy with the fact that we traded below this low, right? So, you know, EN, I'm more favorable to GN at this point. You know, I'm not going to be looking for too much on EN, but I am liking EA because EA has maintained structure. We talked about NJ, talked about NU, SPX. Now I will tell you about SPX. SPX was a freaking awesome trade. It kicks my butt, man, that I didn't take this. When did I drop this? I dropped this. When did I drop this? I dropped this. Where is this? Was this? Let's see. When did I drop? Oh, here it is right here. So I dropped this yesterday. Oh, yesterday New York session. That's when I dropped it. So I dropped this. Yeah, you can see. So yesterday at 8:52 a.m., I was looking, you know, we were in a really nice distribution. There was a micro distribution that occurred here. And on the 15-second, this was NFP, right? 15-second candle was beautiful. So we broke structure here, which was I was looking at. And then we had the micro distro occurring. So I just wanted to see us pop up into that 80%. And we did, you know, again, I didn't take this trade. I told myself Monday I wasn't going to trade, but it was there. And where I had said this morning to a couple of the guys, I was like, you know, make sure Asian lows, take your partials at Asian lows. You know, that was a 1 to 18 really quickly. You know, and, you know, at this point here, what I'm waiting for is I'm just waiting for the buying opportunity, you know. Ideally, could you get another sell out of this? You can. I mean, I've got my alert set up here because if we do come into that price action, I want to see, you know, I want to see if we can come up, you know, sweep these Asian highs that occurred here. And then that would be maybe a distribution I can catch to come lower, or I'll just be perfectly content just waiting for the buys out of this. You know, I mean, realistically, this is what's maintaining from the structure point. This is that leg right here. So I'm just going to be patiently waiting on SPX. But yeah, this overall, I mean, if you know, those guys that are still holding this to get down to like the extreme, I mean, you're talking a 1 to 45 on SPX, which is a pretty good move. You know, and like I said, if you didn't see this, go back and back test it, you know, figure out like what you would have been comfortable taking. I could tell you this was a 1.7 point stop loss or a 17 pip stop loss, depending on how you know, I talk about indices and points. You know, I know some people like to say they caught 5,000 points on US 30. Yeah. Like 5,000 points on US 30 is 500 points. That's it. You know, just say what it is. You don't have to make up the crazy pip counts. You know, but yeah, you had a great sell on US 30. Yeah, I didn't take the US 30. So for me, US 30 didn't give me the confirmation. So, and the reason it didn't give me the confirmation is because of this right here, that right there. So, because we invalidated this distribution. So for us to invalidate the distribution, and then I call this the Pac-Man, making higher highs, but lower lows. I tend to shy away from this. So, you know, for me, it was worth at the XPX than this. You know, I don't know, you know, where did you get in off of this? You know, for me, there wasn't really anything for me to play out of. You know, especially with, Asian highs intact here and Asian highs intact here. I just, again, it wasn't something that I wanted to play, and then I was looking for a potential buy out of this, but, we didn't even, you'd see, I was looking for the accumulation. There was nothing to take an accumulation out of. Like, this sucker just rocketed through. So at this point now, like, I'm waiting for us to come down into this. That's why I've got the alert set right here. When we come down into this, I'll pay attention to it. But we failed on US 30. We have failed to break lower time frame structure, right? So this is still our leg, and this is just kind of in between it. So can this turn into a reaccumulation? It can, absolutely. This morning I had said to everybody, I was like, just make sure you understand that indices are bullish. We're just seeing the pullback on it. So, any sells I get into, I'm not planning on holding very long. They're, in this aspect, I'm looking to buy out of here, or I'm going to be looking to buy when we get down into this area here. I'm still holding. Where's the buy? I'm still holding this buy right here on SPX. So, I mean, I've taken all the partials I'm going to take out of it. At this point, I'm just holding it for hedging purposes. At one point it was at a 1-73, but I mean, I've been holding this thing for almost a month and a half. I'm just kind of slowly waiting, but yeah, if we, this is going to be the first area I'm going to be looking for buys on. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm looking, across the board. I've got a couple setups that I'm just waiting on this week. I'm potentially, obviously you could see we've got a ways to get down to SPX. So, potentially tomorrow, I'm still going to be looking for selling opportunities on SPX. Same thing with NASDAQ. I mean, NASDAQ, NASDAQ is like the redheaded stepchild. NASDAQ is, if you just follow it, right? This looks like a distro, but what are we doing? Lower high, lower high, lower high, so, we definitely have a ton of liquidity on that money trend line. I personally haven't done anything with NASDAQ. I will be looking for a buy if we come down here. But I'm not really interested trying to sell this thing. Every time I've tried, like I tried out of here, and you can see, I did catch a decent sell out of it, but then just, hit break even on a couple of the positions because this thing just ended up reaccumulating. And every time I've tried to sell NASDAQ, you could see, like, I tried to sell out of here, try to sell out of here, try to sell out of here, and it was either misses and then just reaccumulations, or just a big fat waste of my time. And, I'm not going to try to swim across against the current. So when we come down, I'll be looking for buys on NASDAQ, but that's about it. And I know somebody asked about gold. I'll look at gold real quick, and then I'll be done. So gold, I talked about, like, this morning, if there's anything to do with gold, maybe a buy out of here, but I could tell you, I'm not risking any money on it. For me, I would rather just, like, if you look at the higher time frame, right, we're bearish. And where am I bearish out of? I'm bearish out of this distro right here, right? So out of this distro, I'm going to be looking for sells out of here or out of here, and that's it. I don't care about trying to catch the buy to here. It doesn't give me anything that I really want to do with it. So I'll just be patiently waiting. When we get it back up into that area up here, I'll look to take those sells. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I don't mind it. Gold right now, long term, I'm bearish on silver and on gold. And, I'll just be patiently waiting for it. If we get it, great. So, I think that's about it. That's all I got. I know I covered some of the crypto earlier in this session, and, I'm still going to be looking for some of that crypto. I'll definitely be looking for some more investment opportunities on it. Margin trading, I caught the BTC sell. I'm pretty happy with it. That's probably all the trading I'll do on BTC this month. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Anybody got anything else they wanted to cover or anything like that? If not, like I said, I'll let me see what the gold gold futures do? You got it. You got it. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Awesome. All right, cool. Well, listen, guys, enjoy. Again, sorry, the last 2 weeks I didn't do a session. I didn't get home till late. So it just so happened that you guys lucked out that my daughter's teams teams, they got clobbered today. So it was their first loss of the season, but we were done in 3 sets as opposed to 5. So yeah, other than that, I will catch everybody later. Have a good one.